Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Just a quick update video on the progress I've made on my homemade powder coating system. So let's get right into it. Now let's start with an update on the gun itself. If you watched the last video, you recall this collar was on the end of the handle of the gun here. What I ended up doing, I ended up chopping that off with a cutting wheel, and there was this little brass fitting inside. It's 1/8 pipe thread. Okay, so I took that out and replaced it with a 1/8 nipple, goes to 1/8 to a 1/4 bushing, and then 1/4 bushing to 3/4 adapter to fit the end of this collar. That's the basic update on the gun itself. And we have a high voltage module with a gear clamp holding it in place. Inside the tube here is the electrode. It's just a piece of welding wire, and I turned the end up on it. Let me see if I got a piece here. Now this is basically what's in there. A piece of 1/16 welding rod from the TIG welder, and that hook, it just goes in there. That goes in there just like that. Comes up through a little hole. Okay, and then on the end, on the end there's just a little foot attached to it to keep the end from flopping around inside the barrel. So that's the basic of what's going on there. But what's the rest of this going on the table here? Well, I built a little stand because I worked away at this a bit at a time. Now, let me get the gun out of the way for a minute. All right, so this looks a little bit like a cluster, but it is very, very simple. A 12-volt, 5-amp power supply. So let's go back one step. An old extension cord that I cut, patched in a pair of lines. Okay, so 12-volt, 5-amp power supply. It supplies power to 2 standard automotive relays. One relay comes over here to the solenoid valve, and then I have an air regulator attached to it so that I can fine-tune things as I go. Now what's on the other side, we have another, just a wall adapter, which is also 12 volts, 5 amps. And from here, it travels into a buck converter. Now for this buck converter, I'm able to adjust the voltage and the amperage that is actually going to that module that was on that gun. Okay, but from here, basically comes out. The other relay allows me to turn the static generator on at the same time as the air comes on. Okay, because I have no trigger on that gun. Now this little device here, this is just a switch, and it just intercepts this one relay so that I can shut static off and keep the air on if necessary. So in this position, I won't get any static, but when I turn it on, that finishes the pathway and allows power to go to the gun. Okay, well, let's get back to what's going on with the gun. Now let's finish this up real quick. We just finished saying about turning the power on and off to the static generator. So power comes from the buck converter, goes into this 3-wire cord. Okay, negative's hooked up direct, positive goes through the relay and the switch, and positive static comes back on this wire and it goes over to ground. Okay, let's not confuse negative DC with earth ground. Okay, don't get confused about that. So what was I saying? Yes, the high voltage comes back. The positive side high voltage comes back, joins up here. This goes over, connects in with earth ground on the extension cord, and it also becomes earth ground this wire here, which goes and grounds the piece I'm going to powder coat. So the 3-wire follows all the way through to the gun. Here we have the 4,000 volt module. Now I did build, okay, I won't lie, I did build a static generator of my own. Let me show it to you. It's right here. It was and wasn't successful. It did work. Then I encased it in resin, but the ends of the capacitors here, they stick out, and then when I fired it up, there was a whole bunch of arcing going on. Something happened. I don't know if it's the heat from the resin. So I did something to it, but it worked, but it was not very good. But I found these modules pre-built on Amazon. I got 5 of these for what it cost to build one of these. Okay, so cost effectiveness going on there. So where was it? Yes, positive and negative from the buck converter finds its way to the module, and we have to assume, and according to the description on Amazon, you follow the red wire positive and the black wire negative through the cell and out the other side. So therefore, this is our positive side here. This is the side that's feeding back to the part, and this is negative because the particles are supposed to be negatively charged. It just comes out, and then I just put a crimp connector and cut it off, and it just plugs into the top of that little piece of wire. Okay, that little guy that sticks up right there, and that's our charge system. So I hooked the relays up to a switch. Okay, here it is, simple. When I push this switch, the solenoid valve comes on. The pathway to the static generator is available, and it coats the piece. Okay, it fluffs up the powder, it charges it, it comes out of the gun onto the part. So I've already got a piece set up right there, and we're going to give it a shot and show you how it works. All right, so I removed the ground clamp. Let's have a look at the piece here. Looks like it's reasonably evenly coated. Okay, powder didn't get behind the clamp, obviously. We'll turn it around here and look at the back. We do have some wraparound around the back edge, which is nice. Probably if I turn the ampage up on the buck converter a little bit, that would probably take care of that and get more material on. But I don't know if I want more material on. If it's too thick of a coating and then you bake it, it might, the coating itself might liquefy and sag, and you don't want that. Okay, so we do have full coverage, and as you can see, I reviewed the video that you just saw, and you could definitely see that the powder that came out of the gun went directly onto the part. Okay, it didn't hang in the air. It's not on this white paper. This is why I hung this back here. It's not all over this white paper. It's not all over the floor. It's on the part. So the gun is working. I've got a lot more testing to do. I'll do a third video once I've kind of finalized the setup for you. Okay, so let's have another look here. That is quite the cluster of things. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. Till the next one, as always, peace.